see. So after all this experience happened, you decided to get into your fitness, as I see you're a very strong man.
Yeah, yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
I started training when I was 12.
When you were 12?
It was really a tool to just get me to a place of feeling strong and hopefully visually creating strength to keep people at a bay from me, like not close to me. I didn't want to be hurt anymore. I was physically, hurt too much. So that's when I started at 12. And I did it for sports too and, normal stuff. But it became a part of my lifestyle at that early age.
At
And
that
I
early
never,
age.
yeah, early age at 12. And when I was 19 years old, I became competitive in bodybuilding.
Wow.
So that's 25 years ago.
That's quite crazy, eh? 25 years, that's a
Yeah,
long time.
it is.
Was there a turning point where you said, wow, it started at 12, but did you know this is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life?
I knew that it's very cathartic. Like it really is. It releases any of my frustrations, or we all get stressed out and you can get angry. And that was my way of communicating my frustrations, was go to the gym and work out really, really hard. And again, it was also a way for me to learn and teach myself about personal power, because you go to a gym, you're seeking change.
Yeah.
Well, I was able to seek change and create something with it. So I learned very quickly that I go to the gym, I work hard, I persevere. It might not feel good at the time sometimes, right? But I am always better for it. And I take that same philosophy and I take that into anything. My job, my relationships, people. Someone comes into my life, it could be difficult, but persevere. It's all right, it'll all work out. So it's been really helpful. And when I experienced that kind of learning and wisdom through it, I knew it was always going to be with me. I would never let it go.
So from all this building up, from having a hard childhood, could you say that? You end up going to the gym, you end up finding something that you really love. You went completely into it. First you went for yourself, to build yourself, and then I'm presuming you came to a stage where you were like, you must have known something, and you say, wow, I have to share this. Was that sort of what you're trying to share even at the moment?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like that way, actually, because I started my business in 1986 as well, when I first started competing. And when I understood the power of it, I wanted to share that with others.
Okay.
Because there were a lot of other hurting people that were trying to accomplish something in their life, and they were using the gym to kind of lose weight, gain, whatever they wanted to do, but they weren't using it in the way that I was using it. So I was bringing a different perspective to it, and so I brought it to my clients right away, and
they loved it.
They loved it without a doubt, yeah. But they liked the perspective that I was bringing. It was fresh, and it was fresh, but it was my story. I was telling my life story, and I was telling where I came from, and they were, the comments were like, wow, if you can go through this and come out of it, then obviously so can I. And there's a lot of power in that, and that's kind of, I guess the.
And what about all the things that go with it? For example, you are currently in Malta, and you are promoting your program. Is it weightlifting? Is it nutrition? Is it self-development? Is it what is it exactly?
All of it.
It's all of
what
it.
You just said.
So, for example, if I took someone like myself, who's very skinny, who doesn't have neither too much time, what could be done? Yeah.
Well, every program that we do is tailor-made to the client.
Okay.
So so you're busy, but you want to gain weight, and other people don't like going to the gym, and some, whatever the case is, you look at a person's personal situation, and you get them moving. I mean, one way or the other, whatever fits. But it's not just the training; it's nutrition. Everything starts at home with the way you eat, and you can spend 6 days a week in the gym and 3 hours a day and still accomplish absolutely nothing if you're not eating properly.
Yeah.
So nutrition is everything, and nutrition is the key to everything for us. Our mental state of being, our physical state of being, our attitude, everything is really based on the way we eat. Anyway, I would sit down with you and see what it is that you exactly wanted. I'd look at your circumstances, and we would make a plan for everything: exercise, workout, cardio, self-development, the self-development is very important too. You
Yeah.
have to be solid in your mind. You have to know that, hey, you're not going to just start this and walk away from it in 2 weeks from now. This means something to you. There's a value to it, and when there's value in something, you don't quit it. So you got to follow that through and make it and make it kind of more of a habit and a lifestyle.
I see.
Yeah.
Interesting, eh?
Yeah, it's very it's positive, and like I said, I used it for myself. It made me who I am today.
Yeah.
I see other people that do exactly the same thing. They bring it into their life. They think they're just getting a transformation physically, and what it's called the ripple effect.
Yeah.
Where a rock in the water, you see the ripples,
and
and you expect things, but you don't expect the other ripples that happen. You know, someone's training, they accomplish a certain thing, and down the road, maybe the boss that they had that's always taking advantage of them, all of a sudden they stand up and say, no, it's not
They
good.
wake up.
You're not doing that anymore. It's not
Let me ask you a question. I'm sure you've had many clients. Could you maybe just pick out one client and tell us how she or he was before, the process and the challenges, and what happened eventually?
Yeah, I do have a lot. I'll use an extreme case. Actually, I had a guy out of Palm Springs, California, named Bill Ogden. He was 74 years old. He got into the program only to support his wife. He felt he didn't need it. He had a history of heart issues. He's on medication,
No way.
cholesterol, and blood pressure. But he only did it for his wife because she needed the program, and he wanted to do it just to support her. So, but anyway, doing him and assessing him, I found out that he was 30-something%. I think it was about 34%. I said, wow, that's really high. He said, yeah, for the last so many years, 20, 30 years, he's been having problems with his blood pressure. They could never control it. They kept putting on new meds. It worked for a while, and then that was it. Long story short, he's in the program 16 weeks. After 12 weeks, he had lost over 35 pounds of fat. His body fat had gone from about 34% at that point down to 14%,
No way.
which is amazing. We do a 16-week program, so when I came back in the last one, I said, so, Bill, how has this last month been? You know, it was as great as every other month? And he said to me, he said, oh my gosh, John, I almost bought the farm. I go, bought the farm? What do you mean? He says, I almost died. I said, what are you talking about? He said, I've been on these blood pressure medications for 30 years. I had to quit my job. I had to do all these things because nothing was working. Here I am. I'm doing this program. I lost all this body fat. I lost all this weight. My blood pressure medication almost drove my heart into the ground because the blood pressure had come down so low from the fact that my body changed so much that the medications was driving it even lower. He almost died. I said 30 years. He spent 30 years. Their doctors couldn't help him at all. They just kept putting more drugs into him, and all he had to do was get himself into a regimented, eating, healthy lifestyle plan, but they never thought that. And that, at 74, not 40, 74, when people are thinking that they can't change, he ended up at 11% body fat. So he had lost like almost over 40 pounds of fat. He had changed his life. He had gained back part of his life. I mean, not to mention the fact that he was off of over $1,000 a month in medication because he went off blood pressure, heart, cholesterol, gone.